Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
And I am the other host, Jeff Mayo.
And how you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Full of wings.
Ah, yes.
Very full of wings. I think I ate too many wings. Other than that, stressed out.
Yes.
I'm pretty stressed. Life is kind of chaotic right now.
Yeah, we got a couple weeks left, this year for school.
Yeah, college kind of drains the life out of you, Jeff.
It does.
Unrelated to college, I almost died this week. If you don't know, there was like flooding part 2 in South Carolina this week. Guys, if you're ever in a flood, do not drive.
Wise advice.
Wise advice. I thought I could make it home, but dude, that was scary. I don't know why we're even talking about this. I just felt like I almost died. I was shaking a little bit. It was crazy.
This is an excuse for when you screw up in this podcast. You're still traumatized.
Yeah, I'm still traumatized. Yeah, I haven't gotten over it yet.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't think it was as bad in Greenwood, at least where, it wasn't flooding.
Well,
Lots of rain.
I literally got to the point where I could tell there were cars going in front of me, but only because I saw a vague blur because it was there was water everywhere, and there was a minute there I was like, I'm gonna be stuck. This is not gonna end well. So I turned around and went and hung out with the animals at the vet clinic I work at. So that was fine. That was good. Yeah. This is a gaming podcast.
Is it?
It's kind of whatever we want it to be. Well, I mean, granted, I haven't played games this week.
Yeah. We're sorry that the next couple of weeks, at least, is probably going to be a lot of, instead of talking about what we're playing, well, we're probably not.
Yeah, finals.
Yeah.
They suck.
And when we do play something, it'll probably be like Zelda or Horizon, stuff we already talked about, to where there's no point.
Kind of talked to death. The closest I've been to a video game this week is watching my roommate play Persona 5 because somehow he found time.
I think this is a case of what he said. He's just making time for this game. This is his game for the year.
Well, this is kind of another topic for maybe another day. But is it bad that nowadays every time I play a video game, I'm enjoying it and everything, but I always have that in the back of my mind, that guilt. Where it's I should be doing something else. I have something I need to be doing, and instead I'm playing video games. Recently, I haven't even had time to do that because the stuff I've had to do is too pressing. But it's a sad feeling.
Yeah, I never really had that feeling because normally when I playing it, I don't have really anything I have to do. I understand why that'd be the case for you because generally you're busier than I am during the school year. Yep. I've said this a million times. I know you are, so I understand you generally have less time to play games.
Yeah, I mean, I want to start making some time for the summer. I mean, the summer is I'm probably going to just lock myself in my room for hours and
come out for E3 and then go back in.
Yep. Sounds like a good summer to me, honestly. Have you played anything this week? You doing any better than me?
Played some more Zelda and some more Snake Pass, but again, not really anything to add. The only Zelda related things I could add are spoiler related, and I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, we're not about that.
And Snake Pass is, I can't really much of add anything. That doesn't have a story. It's not really. The only thing that increases is some challenge, but there's not really much to talk about. I'm still enjoying it a lot.
Still enjoying it. That's the biggest thing. Still enjoying it. Still thinking like a snake.
Of course. But next week, Yooka Laylee.
Yes.
That's when it's coming out.
And the reviews so far have been so-so,
yes.
But I think this is kind of an interesting. This is a different case. A 7 for Yooka Laylee is kind of it's a loaded thing. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's going to mean different things for different people.
Mm-hmm. Well, for this game in particular, it's the case for a lot of games, but I think more so with this game, as far as recent games go, you got to look more about why people gave it the score they did than just the score itself. I feel that way anyway, but in this game in particular.
Yeah, because it's definitely tied to those Banjo games before, so it's one of those. That's who it's meant for. It might pick up some people along the way, but I think it's definitely meant for people who have like people like you who grew up and have like a nostalgic connection to the Banjo-Kazooie games. So it's gonna mean something more to you. Like you're going to enjoy it because you're seeing all these references and all this other stuff. Even if the gameplay dips at points or something, or sometimes it's not as good as other things, you're still like it's gonna hit you. Just like if a Sly game came out for me or something, like I would overlook something. I recognize when there's problems in the game, but you can still enjoy a game that has problems. And you would probably enjoy it, Yooka Laylee, even if it was flawed more than like I would or some other person would.
Most definitely.
So that's something that you have to take into consideration when you look at those.
Reading the reviews, some of them I saw a lot. I mean, there are technical issues in this, but there's been a patch to kind of fix most of that. So, and I haven't played it, so I can't comment about that. But as far as like gameplay related stuff and other things like the voices in the game, the humor, the type of story, people seeing that as negatives. I still need to play the game, but generally speaking, since I love the Banjo games, still love them, I'll see those as a positive more than those people. And I've seen reviews where those are positives. The old Banjo style games. Like some of the more negative reviews are, this is a game lost in time. It doesn't seem like it's come out of the 90s. Someone like me, that's probably a positive because that's why I backed the game. That's why I wanted this game to exist.
Right.
And if I'm being honest, some of the reviews, I never expected this game to get great reviews.
To like light the world on fire.
Yeah.
Or something.
As far as Metacritic goes, last time I checked, it's very varied between all the multiple systems. Like it's high 60, I think, for PS4, but the low mid 70s for Xbox One and PC. That's because the reviews are separated. Like one system, I think the PS4 has some of the more negative reviews definitely on it, while the other two have some of the more positive and lacking some of the more negative ones. So it's probably somewhere in the middle. I think last I checked, the Open Critic one score was like 72, 73, something like that, which is really not that far from what I would have guessed. If like a couple of weeks ago, if you asked me what do you think like around the Metacritic would be or whatever, I'd probably say 75.
Yeah.
Because I knew this game would be divisive.
And yeah, it's not a game for everyone. And just like, I think it always stands. Review scores are always subjective, but this is a case that I think highlights that even more. That it just kind of depends on what you're looking for, and that's why you shouldn't just look at a number. I'm not one that says that numbers are bad and we should do away with them. I think they're good for what they are, but you need to look past that. You need to like see the number or whatever, and then especially in a situation like this, and actually go and read like what the person's actually saying about it.
I think you can generally agree with this when it comes to the numbers. If it's a really high review score, that's really, you can probably take that, okay, this is a sign, okay, this is a really good game. If it's a really low, like terrible review score, okay, this is a sign this is probably a really bad game. If it's in the middle, like where about Yooka Laylee is, that's probably the case of, okay, I need to see why people are scoring the way they are.
Right. And that's basically, with Yooka Laylee, you could probably see 75 or 7.5 and say, like, okay, it's probably the Yooka Laylee game I was expecting. It's for Banjo fans, but maybe not for outsiders, and that's that. If you looked and you saw, like, 90 and 9s and stuff, you would probably be like, oh, they must have done something crazy. This must be,
Yeah, and even then thinking about that, if they did something to make it so most people would give it a 9+, in some ways I could be potentially worried because it could not be what I wanted. Like, again, I know you can say like, because it's this way, it could be stuck in the past, but I kind of wanted like a Banjo clone.
Exactly.
That's why I bagged this game. That's what I wanted. And
especially a game like this, it was kickstarted because of Banjo fans, because of people who wanted that N64 Rare type, game. That's what they wanted. Especially when it's being funded by fans like that. You almost have an obligation. I mean, you don't, but you kind of have an obligation to give them that kind of a game and not try to do other things.
Yeah, so it's the kind of, because looking at review scores and seeing why people are knocking it, it's like, okay, they're giving what they promised.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I've seen a bunch of people, funnily enough, comparing this to Mighty Number 9. Like, that bad of a mess
I mean,
up.
obviously we haven't played it or anything, but it doesn't seem like it's
Like,
anywhere.
Mighty Number 9 was universally.
I couldn't find someone who really liked Mighty Number 9. Even like big Mega Man fans hated Mighty Number 9. Whereas this, it seems like Banjo fan, like Marty Sleva from IGN, he's a huge Banjo fan. He likes the game a lot. Like as a Banjo fan, you didn't hear any of that with Mighty Number 9.
Yeah. I mean, of course, there'd be some people who like Banjo who may not be into this game, and that's fine because it's been a long time, so to them it may not hold up. But, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, what was I going to say next? But yeah, people comparing it to My Number 9 is, I think, a little silly right now. Well, also, it's the general thing, and this happens for a lot of games, where people will, a lot of people had this notion that Yooka-Laylee was going to be bad anyway for a while, so they look at those very bad scores, Jim Sterling's 2 out of 10, and be like, see, this is a bad game. Only look at that one and not look at the plenty of 80s and 80s plus it has.
I mean, like, just don't look at one person. I mean, do what you want. If you always agree with Jim Sterling, that's fine. But, I mean, to me, like, I don't know, who knows, but it seems like a 2 out of 10 has to be hyperbolic and just kind of like, just low for the sake of being low. Almost.
It's kind of funny. Just seeing some of the defenses for it. I mean, if he doesn't like it, that's fine. That's his thing.
That's fine. But
apparently, he backed it, which is surprising to me in a way. But some people were in defense saying, "See, but he's actually using the whole 10-point scale as a defense." Like, okay, like because the way he described.
Okay.
Yeah. Like for most people, the smallest they give is a 5 or something, and that's usually or whatever. But people were saying like, see, Jim's great because he's using the whole 10-point scale.
But I don't know.
You can use it the way it wants, but I think most people would agree if it's a 2, it's a truly broken and awful game. I mean, he may think it's that way, but obviously most people don't agree with that. They may say it's like mediocre.
He's clearly the outlier there. Yeah. Like he's the outlier.
There's that, and Laura Kate Dale is gave it like a 3.5 out of 10. Those are like the 2 that I saw that were way below.
Most I saw were in the 7 to. I think like one gave it an 8. One of the major.
Most I saw were 6 from the 6 to 8 range, which is what I expected.
Yeah, and again, I think we said this in a different show. I mean, like 7 and especially 8. These are not bad scores.
Yeah.
People get in their head that these you have a bad reaction to 7s and 8s when we should play some 7 and 8. Level games. I mean, like I think there's like Far Cry Primal. That was one of those I played a decent amount of it. Now, there's no way that game's like a 8 or 9. I mean, it has a lot of problems, but it's really fun for what it is. And I think it's fine to play some games just like we watch movies. Yep. We go and watch movies that are like not these crazy life-changing things, but they're fun to do and they're fun to experience and you know more about it. I think it's the same thing with games.
I mean, you look at the superhero movies, if like serious reviewers may not give them all like 8 to 10s or whatever, may give them more like 7s if they just did. It's kind of like they do games, but people watch those fine. Yeah. But for 7 for games is it's awful.
It kind of seems like it kills it almost. I mean, I know it does. I know it doesn't mean that much, but it kind of does. Like it kind of steers it, especially in these times when we have like a bunch of really big games. Mm-hmm. I feel like a game getting a 7 in this climate is almost like a death blow to some industries. Like it kind of like sets the ceiling for it. Mm-hmm. Whereas other games, some games you might not have heard of will get like shout out. Like Neo, a lot of people probably didn't know about Neo, and then it gets shout out. I mean, it should. Yeah. But I just think we maybe put a little bit too much weight on these things, and we should. Yeah. I mean, also, or at least just read the reviews. That's what I would say. But
there's also for reference as far as like the similar kind of games that are around Yooka-Laylee Metacritic score. I mentioned this to you earlier. Snake Pass got a very similar Metacritic score reviews, and so did Sly 4.
So, well, and all 3 of those are ones that it's for a certain audience, and like not everyone's going to be into them. They have their flaws or whatever. But if you have a nostalgia thing Snake Pass even kind of reminds me of those old like Rare games and stuff like that.
Well, for that it was more of the controls suck, also known as the controls are too hard. To that I say, get good.
Yeah, if you've played the game, that's kind of the point. The point it's not a point to have bad control. The controls are kind of part of the puzzle. It's part of
like I told you, if they made it control like any other game, the game would be so easy and just be bad.
It wouldn't be the game. Like that is the.
I mean, if they made the controls like some of these people may be wanting, I really think then it would be a bad game because it would just be really easy.
I mean, you might not like it, and that's fine. But to say to count against it for that, I mean, that's strange. It just kind of seems like you're looking for something to. I don't know.
All I get out of what you can get out of it is only Dark Souls type games can be hard. And have hard controls or something. If
anything else is hard, it's a bad game design.
If it's cartoony and has hard controls, it's obviously a bad game.
Yeah.
So I should, depending when we record the podcast next week, should have some impressions.
Nice. Okay.
I hope so.
That's for everyone. That's Tuesday,
April 11th when it comes out. Some people, when we release this, it should be out.
It should be, yeah.
I already have the game. Don't know if I'll play it then, but yeah.
Yep. If you like the Banjo games, definitely check that out.
Yeah. Or if you like 3D platformers,
in general,
give it a look and read the reviews for people you trust.
Yeah, I want to play it Gears a little bit. I'm interested.
Just one thing is I haven't heard too much about it, but I heard it from Game Explain, who are people I trust. Apparently, the mini games aren't that great. But it could still be. Apparently you got to play them through single player or something, I think. Yeah. So maybe as a multiplayer thing, that might be dumb fun.
Yeah, just a night of dumb fun. You know?
Yeah. Which multiplayer is not why I'm getting that game. That's just an added bonus.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
All right, ready for the news?
Yes.
Still no news jingle? Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Guys, we're working on it. Eventually, I'm working on maybe some sort of theme song at the beginning and things in the middle. These are future. We're working there. We're chugging along. The train's moving. And
if you like it, we'll just say jingle, jingle, and jingle, jingle, jingle before
we'll take turns singing jingle, jingle in different ways.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jeff might hate me for saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yes, we'll figure things out.
We'll find someone who can sing. They'll sing jingle, jingle. Let's just do it. Let's move on.
Okay. Well, first bit of news is, I guess you can say, the biggest one.
Yeah, I'd say clearly the biggest one.
Okay, so people who did not know, Digital Foundry and Eurogamer, I don't know how they got this. Well, I guess it makes sense once you find out what it is. Got exclusives on the Xbox Project Scorpio hardware specs.
Because Eurogamer, they have all the scoops. They have all the big
and
leaks.
Digital Foundry, because they're the ones who are good with the technology stuff and good at conveying it.
Yeah, they can actually understand.
Yeah. So, all the main coverage is with Digital Foundry and Eurogamer, but I'm going to read over an article from IGN because they dumped it down for us.
Because me and Jeff are big dum-dums.
Yeah. I looked at the Digital Foundry thing and it was just really long of techno mumbo jumbo. I was like, I don't understand any of this.
We're console plebs.
Yep. So, yeah, if you want to know more other than what I read, go look at Digital Foundry and Eurogamer, or go look at them anyway because they have a lot of stuff.
And feel free to make fun of us.
Yes.
For not being part of the PC Master Race.
Yep. Or knowing what we're talking about with this.
Yeah.
Okay. This article comes from Joe Scrubbles from IGN. Project Scorpio, Microsoft's Xbox One upgrade, has had its internal specifications revealed in full for the first time, alongside a first simulated playtest. Revealed to Digital Foundry by Microsoft, the Scorpio, which still does not have an official name or retail price, is, as expected, a more than significant update on the Xbox One. Digital Foundry itself calls it console hardware design pushed to a new level with a meticulous focus on appealing to the core gamer. Specifications are: CPU is 8 custom x86 cores. GPU is 6 teraflops.
The teraflops.
Yes, there's 6 of them, Darwin.
So many teraflops. Can we handle 6 teraflops, Jeff?
I don't know. I don't even know how many I can handle now because I don't know how many teraflops in the systems we have.
We might not even have any teraflops.
Yeah. Switch might have 1/10 of a
teraflop.
teraflop.
1/10 of a teraflop?
Yeah, mate. RAM is 12 gigabytes GDDR5. Memory bandwidth is 326 gigabytes a second. Has vapor chamber cooling and 1 terabyte hard drive. In simpler terms, the CPU is 30% faster than Xbox One's equivalent, with the GPU 4.6 times more powerful. Its RAM and hard drive read speeds are also improved, meaning 4K resolutions should be easily achieved and maintained. It's also definitely more powerful than PS4 Pro. It will allow for performance increases on non-4K screens. That means Xbox One games can receive performance boosts or super sampled resolutions even on a regular HD output. Even without specific Scorpio patches, the console will seemingly run all Xbox One and 360 backwards compatible games better than on standard or S hardware. Low times, frame rates, and resolutions should benefit. In a stress testing version of Forza 6, the console reportedly displayed the game at 4K/60 frames per second using about 60 to 70% of its full power. For comparison, a regular Xbox One runs the game at 1080p 60 frames per second using 90% of its power. Digital Foundry could not state a name or price, although it estimates about $499 based on the specifications and comments from Microsoft, or the console will look like, although it will have identical output ports as the Xbox One S.
All right. So, does this? So is it? I think it's starting. It's starting to look like this might actually be just what they said it was, and it's not the new. It's not the new Xbox. It might because it seems like this might be pretty close out the gate. And they're talking. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if this, because for a long time we all were wondering if this was actually just going to end up being the next Xbox, and it might still be in the long run, but right now it just seems like a more powerful Xbox One, but a lot more powerful.
Yeah. Thing is, because I don't know much of the stuff, I don't know how this compares as a jump for past.
Yeah.
Soft or hardware between generations like PS3 to PS4, PS2 to PS3 and stuff like that. I don't know that stuff. I could have looked, but I'm not going to understand that.
Yeah, neither of us are. I mean, it does. I mean, it just seems like 60 to 7% of its full power. I mean, it seems like it sounds like a big leap.
Yeah, it sounds impressive.
Yeah,
but the Forza thing I saw looked really good.
Yeah, and I've seen some of the comparison things with that too. So I mean, in 6 teraflops, Jeff, 6 of them.
6 teraflops.
So I mean, what do you think this means though? If what if this does come out by the end of the year? What if they say something at E3 and this is out holiday?
I think well, I don't know if you're questioning with that, but there's no way this isn't out by holiday.
No way it's out by holiday?
No way it isn't out by holiday.
So what do you think this means for PlayStation? Just in the fact that Xbox will have the more powerful console in the market now. Do you think that helps them a lot? Or what do you think happens here? Because there's also the Play Anywhere thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this is more powerful, but some people you can already play a lot. You can already play your Xbox games on your PC now. So do you? If you do need one, do you need
it? It depends on a whole bunch of things. One thing, the price. If what this thing said they predicted, it's looking like it could estimate around $499.
Right.
I don't know if that's necessarily a good price. Just comparing them. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, with this thing, and I think they even higher up Xbox people have said this is a premium thing, so it's going to be the people who are really into this stuff and have the money. It's going to be more of an upgrade thing for a lot of people who are really into this stuff more than getting new people on it. This to me is more of, looking away now, is more building goodwill going into the next generation, which I think they're doing a good job doing. I think the way they're setting themselves up, as long as they get the games and stuff, because that's their main problem still, I think.
Yeah.
Exclusive is if they can get some of that, they have a good chance to turn the tides of the next generation. Yeah,
I agree. And because it comes down to a mom walking through Walmart isn't really going to know isn't going to really know what makes the Scorpio so much better. All she's gonna see is that it's $500.
Yeah. See that? The PS4 Pro is at least $100 less, if that's the price.
Which, I mean, like, and the PS4 Pro obviously kind of had stumbled out at launch, and we haven't really even heard that much about it since. It's just, I mean, I know it's like kind of a premium product, so it's not really meant to be in that thing. Xbox has seen that, and they can learn from that when they release this, but I think there's a limit to how much these will be adopted, these modular things, because we never really had this before where a console upgrade halfway through, like not a serious upgrade. We've had thinner PlayStation.
The closest thing you can really say is Nintendo handheld related things, Game Boy Advance SP and Nintendo DSi. But as far as consoles, but even those ones I named were like considerable jumps up in power.
Right,
they're just more consumer friendly stuff.
Right. So we're still kind of early in seeing what these things can do in general. I'm kind of thinking that Scorpio, if it's really just like a more beefed up Xbox One, I think it's gonna kind of have a low ceiling, kind of like the PS4 Pro did. And this is just for the people who want to get into it. It's gonna be special. And even people with pros say that like Horizon is incredible on the Pro and stuff like that. So I think, like you said, this will be for the hardcore gamers, but not anyone else. And we were kind of waiting to see. I think Scorpio could have been like the next Xbox and could have been something like that. But it's looking like it's not, which is fine. It'll be for who wants it. I mean,
Okay, I just want to say real quick, good on Microsoft for doing this now and not saving the specs to E3 and boring us during the conference. They have all this out there, so they don't need to retread all the spec stuff that not too many people understand. We know how powerful it is, so they can just focus on games and what it looks like in the price.
Yeah.
At the
on
the conference. So obviously this is going to be at the conference. This is going to be the big thing.
Yeah.
And a couple games hopefully with it.
I'm kind of expecting the Xbox to have a good E3. Xbox is just, I feel like they're making a lot of right decisions right now, and they're trying to get that goodwill, like you said.
Again, they got everything set up, but they're behind anyway, so they may be kind of doomed this generation. Doomed. But
that also means they kind of have like, what do we have to lose? Let's just that kind of
see what works and try to experiment for the next generation.
And this is why I love the video game industry so much, is just the back and forth like battle between these companies, because it's like PS3. I mean, they've literally just flip-flopped, because Sony got to the point with PS3 where they were like high and cocky and like, you're gonna have to get a second job to get this system or whatever, and then Microsoft swooped in there, and then by the time the Xbox One, Microsoft was the cocky one. They're like, TV, whatever. We're not even talking about games. We're doing football, TV, yeah. And then PlayStation was the one, we're for gamers. And then it flip-flopped, and now it might be the exact same thing again. Xbox might be able to come up here, even though PlayStation is not necessarily doing anything wrong right now.
I don't think PlayStation is doing anything wrong. It's more Xbox is doing.
But if they do, if PlayStation starts to slip, I think like Phil Spencer, Xbox is in good hands to make a comeback if there's a chance.
Definitely interesting to see. Again, though, I'm just gonna keep on harping on this. They need games.
They do.
And the whole thing of the Play Anywhere thing, where people can play on their PC, hurts them. I think I don't know like how much more money this could be making them, or how much less money this is making them. I don't know all that stuff, but just looking at it, I don't see how this helps.
Like obviously, we don't know where this is going. Yeah, but I still like kind of think that was an unforced error. Yeah. Because it really does get to the point now where like Xbox was already behind, PlayStation already has more like the exclusives in the console market, so the fact that you can play all your games on PC is just one more reason to not get an Xbox. And I don't know if Microsoft just doesn't care because they're getting money either way.
Yeah.
And they're just fine with Xbox kind of being a lower down thing, but it doesn't seem that way because they do in the Scorpio, and that had to have cost a lot of money to make and everything. So it kind of seems like they're conflicted. Yeah. Their decisions kind of like go against each other, which is odd. It's odd moves that they made there, and they're not in a great place right now. Obviously, PlayStation is getting all the exclusive. I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah.
And what they do to kind of undercut, So, and I think that's healthy for the whole market if they're able. Like, I wish it wasn't so.
Yeah.
Drastically
in a perfect
different.
world, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo would all be about the same place.
I agree. No.
Or at least closer. And all doing kind of their own thing.
Yeah.
Which, you gotta see about Nintendo's sales, but at least they're doing their own thing now.
Yeah.
I mean, so their own thing that people seem to be liking so far.
Yeah.
They did their own thing with the Wii. We saw how that goes.
Nintendo always does their own thing.
Yeah.
Nintendo, keep being Nintendo.
Yep. Okay. Now, Darby. We kind of mentioned some E3 during that
E3
conversation.
time.
Yep.
Getting close.
Yep. Okay. So we got two, I guess, reports here. I'm just going to read them both, and then we can talk about them.
Nice.
Since they're, connected. Okay. This first one comes from Alex Gileadov? I don't know. From IGN.
A made up name.
Yeah, made up name. IGN. Get Greg Miller back just for the name. Okay. Electronic Arts has shared more details on its E3 adjacent event, EA Play. The company will kick off the event with its annual press conference at noon Pacific Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern Time, on Saturday, June 10th. The conference will be broadcast live and will showcase EA's biggest games for the rest of 2017, such as Star Wars Battlefront 2 and beyond. Following the conference, beyond, global community creators will be able to participate in the EA Game Changers Creator Cave at the show floor.
Cave.
These names, which will let creators interact with developers, capture early game footage, and live stream from the show.
Hey kids, come into my cave.
Yep. Come into the Changers Creators Cave.
Oh my god.
I heard you guys like your C's. As previously announced, EA Play will also feature game demos, community contests, live music, and hands-on gaming stations. Tickets to the event are free and will go on sale on April 20th. EA will share further details about how to acquire the tickets at a later date. EA Play will take place from June 10th to the 12th at the Hollywood Palladium. So, okay, so real quick, I guess that ends before E3, which I guess is kind of smart for them.
The whole thing ends before E3?
If June 10th's on Saturday and it's to the 12th, that'd be Monday.
Especially since people can actually go to E3 now.
Yeah. So that means they get a whole 3 days for themselves. That's, I mean, as far as people getting hands-on, that's smart. Okay.
Yeah.
Going on. Along with Battlefront 2, other confirmed games for EA Play are FIFA 18, NBA Live 18, Madden NFL 18, and the new entry to the Need for Speed series. So literally all the games we could have guessed by ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Next article. This comes from Sal Romano from Gematsu. Bethesda Softworks will host its E3 2017 showcase on June 11th, the company announced. The doors open at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If it follows the schedule of previous years, it will begin 30 minutes later.
When is that in the days of E3? Like, what day is that?
Sunday.
Okay.
And I want to say, so that means the conference will be like 10 o'clock here. And I want to say that Microsoft's like at 5 or something, like 2 o'clock their time.
Because Microsoft moved to...
Sunday. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. It's all those E3 conference news.
Okay. So from starting with the EA, I think the EA conference last year was horrible.
Yes.
I think it was really, really, really bad. But from everything I've heard, the actual EA Play was a lot of fun. I think people enjoyed that a lot. So I think that's smart of EA to continue doing that and to get ahead of E3, like you said.
Yeah.
That's probably smart. I hope their conference is better.
Yeah. I guess the only thing they have against them, why they're not going up as far as the actual shows itself, like people being on the floor, that matching with E3, but the Monday has to compete with conferences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like people just not doing that and watching that stuff. Yeah. At least the journalists.
But I mean, they have some cool. Battlefront 2. Like they could have some cool things in there.
Yeah. But at least for me, I'm definitely not excited because I'm trying to think what EA games I've actually enjoyed.
I mean, but I do think, like, even independent of me not enjoying their games, their conference was just bad last year. Like, even if I don't like the games, I can enjoy the conference. It was awkward. It was boring. It was long. It was like, just everyone's getting shown up by, like, I mean, like, PlayStation especially and Microsoft, and it's just, you know, even Bethesda, they had a good show last year, but it's nothing like.
Yeah, I mean,
there is a difference. PlayStation and Microsoft are huge.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like,
this is the thing about these
these
press conferences from just, you know, these published, like just Bethesda only or EA only, is the fact that they have a lot less games, and then there's crossover into Sony and Microsoft conferences because they let them have some of their games.
But then there's like Ubisoft that wasn't it like 2 hours long, and they just droned on and on.
That's what I'm about to say. If sometimes they feel like they got to be as long as those conferences when they don't necessarily have stuff to back it up.
Give me like a short conference that's just packed with the good stuff. Give me the good bits, and you know.
Just give everyone what they want, and they'll be fine. But Bethesda time, I guess I'm fine with it. You know, not everything being on the same days is good. That just means we'll have a couple hours to reflect on Microsoft before Bethesda.
Yeah.
So
especially me and you, because this year we're probably gonna actually be like doing stuff with E3, so we actually have to.
Have to figure out work schedule and stuff for that. But this right now is looking good that we can try to get some stuff done throughout.
And I'm excited. I mean, Bethesda's had 2, I think, solid E3s, so I'm excited to see them keep going with that.
It's interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe some Prey stuff, but
it's already gonna be out, so it'll just be DLC.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
I think I saw some people online just like, they have Prey. It's like, no, that'll actually be out by then.
I forgot about that.
Which, that game's looking good. So
it is.
There's that.
So I don't know what they'll
Elder Scrolls 6.
Bethesda will have something. I doubt it. We're way too early. Don't get the people's hopes up.
I don't follow this stuff. The last one was Skyrim, so to me, it feels like forever.
No, it's the same team, though.
Yeah.
It's the same team that worked on Fallout 4.
Yeah, I don't know who does this stuff.
Well, you should.
I forget.
No, it's the same team that worked on all of them.
Okay,
so
then fair enough.
It's only been since 2015, so it takes them like at least 4 years to make these.
Then they need to do better. Joking, but yeah. Again, I'm interested to see because it feels like we've gotten a fair amount of Bethesda games in the last 2 years, so it's like, what do they have?
Yeah.
I mean, people have said that more so last year. 2 years ago, they had Fallout 4, so there are a lot of people that justified the conference.
There should wasn't it when they? It was either when they did Fallout or it was last E3. They talked about the Quake redo.
Oh yeah.
I haven't heard anything about that since.
Don't they have a QuakeCon or something?
Yeah, it might already be out for all I know. I mean, I don't really know that much, but if not, then that's definitely something.
Actually, I want to say when I go on Twitch, I'm at my phone to watch some stuff. I want to say I've been seeing. I can actually try to look right now. Seeing Quake as one of the things, like top things people are playing. I might be wrong, but that sounds right.
Might be only Quake, but
True.
I don't know. I don't think this was like a tradition. Like it was something different. Like it wasn't.
I might have been going crazy. I probably am.
I mean,
ignore me.
You are, but you're already crazy.
I mean, working with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Okay, I love you.
Are you still looking? I can vamp. I want Elder Scrolls to be in Valenwood. It's a bunch of elves in a tree. Like they have tree cities. They have like trees the size of cities, and they're a bunch of elves with bows. You should. Why don't you play Elder Scrolls? You should play Elder Scrolls.
Maybe some other time.
Or elsewhere. Bunch of kitties.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I play as kitty. I play as a Khajiit.
If I said elsewhere, so like play it somewhere else, like
that's the name.
Switch.
That's the name of the place.
Okay.
It's called Elsewhere.
I thought you were getting at like play Skyrim on Switch or something.
No, well that too, but no, it's funny. It's like it's spelled all like fancy and stuff, but it's literally like, oh, they're the Khajiits from Elsewhere.
Okay.
Jeff, be a nerd with me. You suck.
I am being a nerd with you. What do you think we're doing?
I mean, the wrong type of nerd.
I'm the right kind of nerd. Okay, on to the next thing. Okay, this comes from Hope Corrigan from IGN. Deep Silver has announced release dates for its new single-player third-person action game, Agents of Mayhem. Developed by the studio that brought us Saints Row, Agents of Mayhem was announced at E3 last year. It was released August 15th and 18th in the US and Europe, respectively. The over-the-top sandbox game mixes elements of Overwatch, Saints Row, and Crackdown, and features a lineup of characters, each with a unique skill set. They're working together to take down a supervillain organization known as Legion. Players will also be able to utilize souped-up vehicles to traverse and explore an open world futuristic take on Soul. Agents of Mayhem will be available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
How many times has a villain organization been called Legion in fiction?
I was thinking about that when I read. I was like, so original.
So original. It's too.
But knowing them, if Legion probably stands for something stupid.
Probably does. I mean, I don't know. I have faith in them or whatever, but it's too early to tell. But looking from the two, I've only seen two. There might have been more, but 2 trailers I've seen. I
feel like those are the only ones. I think there's some gameplay out there. I think IGN has a gameplay video.
I just can't get excited. It doesn't look.
Yeah.
It looks just like Saints Row. Visually, it doesn't really look that good, and it just kind of seems like a Saints Row mod almost. It just looks like a lot the same, but kind of missing a little bit of the Saints Row charm. It's just kind of. I mean, who knows? It might be just as funny. I might play this, and it might Saints Row the Third. I love Saints Row the Third. Yeah. It's so much dumb fun, and this might be the same thing, but I just wish that it didn't.
I'm not hyped for this, but I am interested. I'm interested to see what they do, and obviously I'm not going to play it first day, probably because there's so much stuff I need to play. But hey, another thing for August/September. I feel like every last couple of weeks we've been calling stuff for that. I know this is not a big thing, but it's something.
But I kind of feel like this is going to bomb.
Probably.
No one's talking. I don't hear anyone really talking about.
Well, I think partly is like you said, you only saw 2 trailers. I think literally the last time we saw this was at E3.
Yeah, but I mean, I just have a feeling. That it's not gonna. And just because even Saints Row in general is just kind of, as much as I love it, it's kind of outdated at this point, and it kind of seems like it's not doing anything that crazy. Mm-hmm. It's just from this. That's just my prediction. I hope not. I don't want games to bomb, but.
Again, I'm interested, and I will continue to at least check out and see what it does. Because it wasn't my favorite game thing, but I'm like, you actually enjoyed Saints Row 4. Just all the goofiness of it all.
I wasn't crazy about it just because of, and that's another reason why I think maybe I'm hesitant. Is I felt like Saints Row 4 was basically just felt like a Saints Row 3 DLC. I mean, it didn't really feel like it was, it just kind of felt like the same game. It was just kind of, to me, it felt thrown together. Like the missions were not different and that interesting at all to me. It didn't give me the Saints Row 3 vibe at all. It felt rushed, and I guess I have a bad taste in my mouth already. But I'm open. I hope it's good. But.
Now, for something I know you'll like, or you used to like, or something.
No, you'd never stop.
I know. Those are wrong words. I meant I don't know if you'll get this, but you're probably generally happy about it.
I'm happy. I have it on my PS3, so probably not. Yeah. But go for it.
Okay, this is from Alex Giladov. I'll get that name right at some point from IGN. All 4 Naughty Dog's Jak and Daxter games are coming to PS4 as PS2 classics.
Whoop, whoop.
According to the PlayStation blog, Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy, Jak 2, Jak 3, and Jak X Combat Racing will be available to download via PlayStation Store sometime later this year. Pricing details have yet to be revealed. This is the first time Jak X is being re-released on other platforms since it came out on the PlayStation 2 back in October 2005. The game will feature both adventure and exhibition modes, and while there won't be any online features, you will still get the chance to race against your friends via split screen. All 4 Jak and Daxter games will include 1080p up-rendering and trophy support, as well as a few other features like remote play, share play, and activity feeds.
Jak and Daxter is so good. I mean, I already have it on my PS3, so I'm not going to buy it again. But if you missed Jak, I actually, I think it was either last year or it was the end of 2015. I went back and I started playing the first one again. I got a good bit through it, and I think it still holds up. it's a platformer obviously and everything, but like it's definitely like I don't know what it is about it, but it's not like other platformers.
Mm-hmm.
It does things a lot different. Like, the art style is really cool and everything, but like the combat's pretty good and it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have not played it.
Just the whole vibe of the game is just very cool. It's like tropical vibe, but it's like
I haven't played any of these games. I know you let me borrow your Jack and Daxter 1 at some point. I still have it. I just never played it.
You would.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, it's at the point I'm thinking of at least picking up Jack 1.
Yeah,
on here.
and that's
as long as you get them separately. Because I don't know if I care as much or the time to play Jack 2, 3, or Jack X.
Well, whenever I taught back on Jack, don't get me wrong, as a kid, like I got Jack 2 immediately. I got Jack 3 or whatever. And if you don't know, Jack 1 is kind of like a cartoon platformer, but then Jack 2 went gritty. It like Jack literally doesn't talk at all in the first game, and in the second game, the very first words he like says is "piss off." And I'm like, okay, this is where we're going. And like there's guns and the hover cars and everything. It was fun for the moment, but those definitely don't hold up. It like play the first one. You don't need to play. I don't think you need to play Jack 2.
How did you feel about Jack X? I'm not saying that like sarcastic.
I actually didn't play the racing game.
I felt like you had it for some reason.
I might have.
You had a chest of like 100 PS2 games. So.
I probably did play it at some point as a kid because I had a million different random games, but then my grandpa would just like get me for cheap at the apartment bin. But I don't really remember it much if I did play it. I mean, Mario Kart, that's probably what I remember. You know, I didn't need Jack Racing. I didn't need Jack for
We
racing.
don't need that. We have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe coming out in a couple weeks.
I'm just about to buy it for the 4th time.
Hey, second. Okay, going on to some sales data.
Lots of sales, all the sales.
Yeah.
Sales for days.
Well, I'll just read the first one. We'll talk about that. Then go on to the next one. Okay. This comes from Sal Romano from Gamatsu. Total shipments and digital sales for Nier Automata have exceeded 1 million units, Square Enix has announced. The action RPG launched for PS4 in Japan on February 23rd, in North America on March 7th, in Europe on March 10th, and for PC worldwide on March 17th. Yep. That's some pretty good sales, which
I was not expecting.
Yeah, I was actually trying to compare it, trying to find the original Nier.
Right.
I couldn't find anything like conclusive between also, but from what I could find, not so nearly like it's. Yeah. I feel pretty good that this already surpassed the original Nier.
I was so worried because like this game seems so cool. I just don't have time for it, and I feel like everyone I know is in the same boat. Like no one has time to. And everyone I see online, they're like, I'm interested in this, and I hope I want to support it, but I just can't right now. I don't have time.
Yeah.
So I was worried it was just gonna collapse under everything else, but. I mean, like, that probably... I have to imagine that exceeds what they were expecting. I have to imagine.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Because Nier, the first one, was a niche game, like you said.
Well, everything about this game is niche anyway.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a platinum game, which they don't always sell. You usually don't sell that great for the most part.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm very pleased with this. I'm pleased with the scores it's gotten. This is definitely a game I'm going to keep a watch on for sales and stuff. Like, if I see a good sale for it, I'm just going to pick it up so I have it, because this is one I definitely want to play. Like, 100%. Because I've seen enough stuff outside of it that, like, I know I want this game.
I do too.
And the demo was so much fun.
Yeah. Check out Nier Automata, everybody. It's a very interesting game. Like, it goes into, like, 3 different type of genre of game, and it's constantly flipping around. Yeah. It's crazy.
They get different playable characters and branching story paths or different endings.
That's what I've heard, is that there's multiple endings.
I don't know much about that, so...
From what I've heard, from what I've heard, the story is kind of crazy and doesn't make sense. But I've heard that like the payoff at the end is really good and stuff like that.
I like those kind of crazy Japanese stories. I like Kingdom Hearts.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying. Okay,
so next bit of sales news.
Speaking of super Japanese things.
Yes, I love my super Japanese. This also comes from Salamana from Gamatsu. Worldwide shipments for Persona 5 have topped 1.5 million, Atlas has announced. We know that at least 550,000 of those shipments are from Japan, as Atlas announced in October. Persona 5 launched for PS4 and PS3 in Japan on September 15th, 2016, and in North America and Europe this past Tuesday, April 4th. So, Yeah.
So it sold. Oh wait, so 500,000 was from Japan, so it's already sold like 1 million basically in North America.
Or may not necessarily because those numbers were from October, so it may have sold more in Japan since then.
So 1 million or a little less. Or something,
it's safe to say it's
a lot.
It probably sold pretty close to 1 million outside Japan.
It's barely. It's been out days.
Yeah.
So.
And this is a game where again, it's like I feel like for Persona 5 and Nier, those sales are just going to continue to climb because everyone's so busy with other games. They're waiting to get to those.
People like us. Like there's no doubt in my mind I will play Persona 5 at some point eventually. You know? So there's
that's a game that's high up on my how much I want to play list. Yeah. Especially as far as games that are out right now.
I feel like I need to play Horizon again for the first time in 4 weeks before or 3 weeks before I consider. I need to get my life where I actually have time. But at some point, I'm not playing Persona 5 because I am worried about Persona 5.
Here's the thing, though, as far as Persona 5, and we've talked about this before, but me and you still have Final Fantasy 15 and Watch Dogs 2 to play.
I know.
But we have those.
I know. I have those on the shelf in there.
Yeah.
Bought them close to release for some reason. Wishful thinking.
Well, Watch Dogs 2 I got a good bit of time in, but Final Fantasy 15 I only got because I was able to get I was pretty much able to get it for free.
Yeah, I think it was a birthday present from me or something. But
so
still, I have the game. I need to get to those at some point.
Again, go back to the thing. All these great games, they all have to be so freaking long.
Why do we like such long games?
Yeah, so it will be interesting to see whenever we get to those games. Like Persona 5 be a good game for the summer, but still I got other games I need to play.
Like honestly, like for real though, we could just stop right here and not release another game for the rest of the year.
We'll be fine.
And I would be fine.
Yeah.
I could just I wouldn't even have to go back to Watch Dogs 2 and Final Fantasy. I could only play games that were released in the first 4 months of this year and be fine until January of next year. That's this.
Yeah, well, if we're counting just the 4 months, even the stuff that's coming out the rest of this month, like Mario Kart, Puyo, Tetris, that handles most of our multiplayer stuff for the year.
Do you think? I mean, this is kind of a more of a broad conversation for maybe another time. But I mean, do you think we're gonna see a drop off? I feel like we have to, right? At some point this year,
the summer drought.
There has to be some sort of drought coming. At least I hope there is, because I'm missing games left and right now.
Well, even then, there's probably some forgetting that in the summer there's supposed to be Splatoon 2, the Crash Bandicoot thing, Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah. I mean, not many people care about that. I care about that a
lot. Those aren't exactly small games.
No.
And then, I can't remember the third one, but now in August, September, we have Agents of Mayhem. May not be the biggest thing, but it's something. Shadow of War, and I know there was something else we talked about the last couple weeks that Destiny.
Prey's in there somewhere too.
Yeah, Prey's in May.
And Destiny and Red Dead, but that's fall.
I was talking more like this August, September, because there was a couple weeks ago we thought that time was dead, like a month ago, and now, again, Agents of Mayhem may not be the biggest thing, probably going to bomb, but Destiny 2 and Shadow of War, those are huge games.
Huge, yeah. 2017 is too good. It's too good for games.
I see people talk about hey, let's just stop selling games for a year and so we can catch up. This is 2018 is the time to do it, because we still got the game we got coming up talking about. It's not our first time talking about it. Super Mario Odyssey, you said, Red Dead.
I guess some of this is a product of games being pushed back, because Horizon was supposed to be last fall. Zelda was supposed to be a bunch of different times before it was.
Yeah, that's the thing is we complain about people pushing back. It's obviously these games will come out sometime. Now they're all coming out.
It's crazy. I feel like there's gonna be some game at some point that was scheduled to come out sometime this year that's just gonna be peace, we're moving. We're moving not because we need to work on the game, but because we want to survive.
Yeah. Well, it's just an interesting thing. We can talk about it more later as a different topic, but it's interesting to think about the games that are scheduled for this fall/winter, and I can't see any of the games that we know about that would be that game to be peace out. Because Mario or Red Dead, Red Dead may get pushed back for other reasons. Yeah. But I don't see Mario, Red Dead, or any of the normal Call of Duty, any of the normal fall/winter stuff.
It'll be some other game that we're maybe not thinking about now that that maybe would have.
Yeah, as far as the ones that are like solidified for that, or we know pretty well are going to post to come out then, I can't see anyone piecing out of the fall winter just to avoid everyone else.
I mean, if I'm a developer and I have something that's even a moderately small game that's coming out around Red Dead and Mario, I want to get out of there.
Well, even just Call of Duty and all that other normal stuff. And it'll be interesting. And we'll find out more at E3, but you got to imagine what all the stuff first party games Sony has, one of them has to be planned for the fall.
Yeah, it'll probably be Days Gone. And
that will get murdered.
It'll die.
Unless they blow us away.
I mean, I honestly don't think Days Gone would sell well even if it was alone, much less. Because no one, I don't see, the best I see about Days Gone is people being like, it was okay, I'm kind of excited, but most people are not excited at all, and that's kind of
most people are because they have that Sony exclusive tag next to it, if we're being honest.
It looks
even then people
it looks like a polished thing, it's just like, it's coming out like 2 years too late. Yeah. And for the type of game it is.
And even then, the fact that it's all like a zombie game, Sony just announced Last of Us 2.
I know, yeah. Well, I think it's obvious. I think it's clear as the day is long. Days Gone was supposed to be out by now. I think it was supposed to be out like a year ago before there was Last of Us 2 was even thought about being announced like this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And because Sony Ben's been silent forever, I think this game's probably gone through hell. And I think the plan was for it to be out long ago, when it would still be relevant, and now it's just kind of like, all right, well, we have to get it out. This is not the opportune thing, but we're gonna have to do it. So, yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm happy, other than Super Mario Odyssey, as far as in a way, as far as the games we're talking about, like in the late summer, fall, like from September to December for the most part. They're games they're big, I understand that, but most of the games I don't care about. Like Destiny 2, I really don't care for Red Dead. I'm kind of happy for that.
I care for Red Dead.
I mean, I understand why people are. I get why it's like like the original.
No, you're lucky. You're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy that I have, as of right now, that time. They're games I really don't care about coming out, as far as big ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of games coming out, they announced Mr. Shifty's coming out next Thursday.
Next Thursday?
Yeah. As they said, it was going to be April.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I must have missed that. Was it announced? Was that the announcement? Because that's the first time I heard it was the Nindies thing. Had it been announced before then? Or was that just the first time?
Okay. It might have been. But I feel like for a lot of those indie games, the Nindies thing was the thing where it's like... Yeah.
But that's really good for them to... Like, I saw it and now it's out. Like, that's so cool.
This is the thing that... I like how far off topic we're getting. I can't remember what the original thing was.
Whatever, it's okay. Let's go for it. I like the conversation around it.
But I think what's helping people's impression of the Switch at the moment, because people are finishing Zelda, but the people who have it are hardcore like gamers, so they're more open to the smaller indie games, and they're pumping out those indie games like pretty consistently.
Yeah.
The quality indie games. It's not like what people complain about the PlayStation Store, where there's a bunch of awful small games that are coming out of nowhere, but these games are quality.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing about being young and having a small store right now is that everything on there is kind of the things that you've pushed through.
Mm-hmm. Like, I want to get Mr. Shifty, but I definitely not going to get it right now because I got Yooka Laylee coming out and then Mario Kart in.
How much is Miss Shifty coming out?
15.
Okay, that's not bad, yeah.
So, that's I had no doubt I'm going to get that game. I like Hotline Miami a lot. I mean, it's not the exact same thing, but it's the kind of same thing, but again, the Nightcrawler thing.
But with Nightcrawler, yeah.
And the way it looks is cool. That's a game I'm definitely going to be getting at some point. Probably once I get done, at least with Snake Pass and or Shovel Knight, I'll probably just get it. So I have another single-player, smaller game on my Switch to just bust out.
And it probably won't be that long, which, praise that. I love short games now. I never used to be that point, but I love when there can be an awesome game. It doesn't take that long.
Yeah. Also, good news. It's not coming out next week, but again, Mr. Shifty is going to be on PS4. So if you don't get a Switch by then and that comes out, if you're interested, obviously you'll probably try it when I get it.
Yeah.
So I have zero doubt I'm getting that game at some point.
Yeah, I'm interested in something.
Okay. Let's finally move on.
All right, we're moving on. That was a really good topic about Persona 5 we had there.
Wait, we were talking about Persona 5?
Yep, that's the last thing on the thing, wasn't it? Yep.
Well, editing this and putting pictures is going to be a pain. And timestamps.
Hey, it's not me this week. Good luck.
Okay, Darby. Well, it's that time of the week again.
It is that time. Injustice Cast. Welcome to the Injustice Cast.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Cast. All right.
Injust Cast.
Sure, that's better.
Okay, well, there's plenty of stuff that was kind of announced, like released this week, and some of it, and a lot of it's kind of small stuff, but they're cool things to talk about.
They got me hyped.
Yeah, there are 3 trailers released this week. We'll just go in order, quick impressions and stuff. First one, Catwoman trailer.
Yes.
So, what'd you think of that, Dari? Since you were a Catwoman main,
awesome. I like it a lot.
I was kind of interested to see what they did with her because just based on the fact they have Cheetah, I was wondering if they're gonna make more of a gadget character.
Yeah, but it doesn't. She looks different, but not in that way. Like she still looks like awesome to me. Like probably going to either be my main or right up there in the top. Like
it's probably your top 2 characters probably gonna be Cheetah and Catwoman.
Probably. I like fast characters. Fast grapply characters like that.
I'm honestly gonna be shocked if Cheetah isn't one of your top characters. It screams 100%.
You. It does. I think I'm more excited about Catwoman just because
you're used to her.
I'm a Batman fan and stuff, and like I watch the cartoons and stuff, so I just I don't have a connection to Cheetah that much. But
not too many people do.
Yeah, but she'll probably still be my main gameplay wise. I'll play with whoever I'm best with, but. Catwoman looks really cool. Face still looks funky, but it's NetherRealm. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Actually, I was gonna show you something. Try to talk real quick. How do you feel about her character trait, the little cat?
It's awesome. It's hilarious.
I guess the character trait. Just to show you from what I'm gonna show you right now is a picture of Aquaman when it was first announced compared to his face recently.
Okay, you can put it on the screen. Yeah.
Like the difference.
Wow. It doesn't even look like the same game.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like, NetherRealm has this thing about, the bad faces, but you can't really say that as a whole, I think, with this game. Like, it looks so much better.
They still look a little goofy, but yeah, and it could be a lot worse.
Even compared to other just fighting games in general, that's just...
And the fact that they listened and they went and changed that,
That's why I have a feeling with Catwoman, she is going to get fixed up. Like every character people have a problem with, like Supergirl and Aquaman and stuff, Superman, they have fixed them up. They've been listening more so than I think they have, which, again, makes me really excited for this game.
Yeah, props to NetherRealm.
Yeah. Next trailer, Captain Cold trailer. Gameplay trailer.
Sub-Zero.
Yeah, there's some differences there.
There are definitely.
Yeah, like that little platform thing.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, people who haven't seen it, like Captain Cold, jumps up and shoots his cold gun and makes a platform. He can stand on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it'll stay. It stays there.
That was my question: is how long it stays.
Well, in the Watchtower stream, which I'm gonna talk a little more about later, they showed all Captain Cold, Flash, and Bane. So I saw, I went through the moveset for all 3 of them. I watched it. It looks like it can stay up there for a good while. Longer than you would think. And you see that, me and you are kind of used to the platforms in fighters because we play so much Smash. So it was kind of weird seeing that. I was like, this is awesome. And honestly, just looking at what his moveset was, I can see myself playing Captain Cold.
Yeah. I can see, you could time it, right when somee's about to do their super or something, you jump up and stand on the platform. I'm guessing you could do that. That would be... And
his trait, it wasn't in the trailer, or at least not really shown that it's obvious, but shown in the Watchtower stream was pretty cool. His gun has 3 levels that you can kind of charge up, and they do different things. I'm having trouble remembering what does which or what all of them were, but... I think one, the level 3 one, which takes a long time to charge up, is like a big shockwave type thing of ice or whatever. Ice force field thing.
Cool.
Yeah. And when I saw it there in the trailer, I think you were like, what in the world is that? When he did a little bubble thing. Yeah. That pretty much is, I think it slows people down when they go in it, but they stay there long enough, they freeze.
Okay.
And he has a bunch of little traps and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can put down the ice thing kind of like Sub-Zero does.
Yeah. There's some Sub-Zero stuff. I think they did a good job of making him different.
I did too.
Better than I think they did with Killer Frost in Injustice 1. I keep on forgetting she was in that game.
Yeah.
That's one character I'm glad they kind of
It's weird that she was picked before some of the people that weren't. It's strange.
My main reaction is like because of the Flash, but I feel like that was before even Flash. That was definitely before Flash was out.
They probably just wanted an ice character. They wanted just a diverse
and they wanted another female in there.
Play range and Right.
And next trailer was a story trailer about the Society, which is a supervillain team. So most of the main supervillains that are in this game are in the Society.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Honestly, I thought that trailer was really good. Like, got me more hyped for the story. I was like listening to it, I was like, I'm surprised like how good Grodd's voice acting was.
That's that. Especially when you consider it's a fighting game. It definitely kind of.
See, that's another reason I'm even like the little how they talk to each other before fights gets me hyped. Like seeing what they'll say and what they'll reference, because I think each fighter when they face each other has unique lines.
Yeah, and especially with how deep they're going into the DC lore just with picking characters. And the fact that they've been having an ongoing like comic. I think it's obvious they're gonna have lines in there that's gonna make you like giddy as a DC fan. And, you know, they're gonna have stuff like that that's like calls to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even when they had the villains lined up on that stage, they did. I kind of forgot the second like how many Batman villains there were, but just seeing all those villains I love lining up, like this is awesome. And if it was like in a movie or any of the TV shows, I'd be freaking out. And I did for this, like, okay, this is going to be awesome. I feel better about all the Batman villains.
Yeah, and and this is the way you're seeing characters you'll probably never see in a movie.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. And that's what I love. They weren't afraid to, there was like a lot of stuff in the trailer on like Captain Cold and and a lot of people that aren't as big, but they're like, screw it, you know, we're doing it.
And they showed some
and
stuff.
Grodd where, like, was like had the biggest spotlight of the whole like trailer.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the leader of the Society, which will be interesting because Grodd's awesome. But they showed little stuff in there about like Captain Cold and Deadshot working together. That's the kind of thing where I can just see very kind of fun.
Yeah. The
dialogue between the two.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's done great. Obviously, it's nothing like crazy special, but in comparison to fighting games, I think the first Injustice story was definitely a lot better than a lot of fighting games.
Yeah.
And
I feel like they're improving with this.
Yeah, if it just gets better, which it seems like it already seems like it's going to.
Especially the way it looks. Like, I didn't think about the time, but I've seen Injustice 1 pictures since then. Since this game came out, I'm like, oh man, it does look bad.
I need to see that. I haven't really gone back to it.
It honestly would make it hard to go back playing it potentially. Like, so I'm glad I'm getting this.
I didn't know it's that much of a bad jump.
Yeah. Like, okay. So, like I said earlier, they had the Watchtower stream and talk about Captain Cold, but they also Flash and Bane. For the Flash, not a crazy amount of difference. So some new moves here and there. His trade, I think, is pretty much the same, where he does the thing and people slow down and stuff.
Yeah.
And I showed you his super.
His super's different.
We may not go into that now to keep it a surprise so people can see
it.
Yeah,
let's not.
If you're listening to this and are curious, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, look up Flash's super.
Injustice 2. It is awesome. I like the kind of change they did with Flash. It's kind of... I felt like Flash was kind of basic in the first one. As much as I love the Flash. I feel like they're doing more to... Even if it's just visually, make it more like, okay, this is the Flash. Made me feel better about that.
Right.
Unfortunately, one thing I'm not liking what they did. He has the projectile, which is him like running in a circle real quick and throwing lightning. But that's hidden behind one of the gear sets. It's like, why isn't that a regular move? Now he doesn't have a projectile in his regular move set.
That's weird.
And they showed Bane. I'm liking what I'm seeing in Bane more. It seems they're making him more grapply. Like replacing Solomon Grundy in my heart a little bit.
I think people like Bane a lot in the last one, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And more wrestling moves. Again, that goes with the grappler thing, so he could be one I see using. His trait, I think it's pretty much the same. I didn't play Bane that much, where he uses the Venom and powers himself up. He has 3 different tiers of it. For the 3rd tier, and this is going to be something that you're going to hate if I can do this right.
Oh boy.
It powers them up to the max. And if you do his super with it, it takes about a whole bar.
Like
you do his trait up to max. He's at full power, and you hit the super. It goes down about a full bar.
Yeah.
Please don't. Oh, and also
does it take a long time? I'm guessing to like.
Yeah, I think so.
It's at least hard to do.
Actually, the downside to it is when the venom runs out, you are slow and weak for a while.
Okay.
And the cooldown time till you get back at regular strength is actually a pretty long, significant amount of time. Oh, also his super is like full stage. He stomps and the whole stage rumbles, and if you're on the ground not blocking, you go up. It's a full stage thing. Which
sounds annoying.
Yeah.
I don't play heavy characters, so I never really like. I only see the annoyance.
Yeah.
I don't see the positives.
Okay, and then just a couple more things they showed. They showed the reverse flash skin for the Flash, which they just showed a little intro thing to show, hey, different voice, different lines.
Which is cool they're going that far with it.
Yeah, they made him over going into the Flash, so you heard lines between them. And what they said is obviously, what would be said between the reverse flash and the Flash, which is awesome to me. For the story mode, which they said, which I think is awesome, they're going to be branching story paths, kind of, sort of. For people who don't know, the way NetherRealm story modes works is that they're chapters, and each chapter you play a certain character, and then you do like 3 or 4 fights per chapter.
Yeah.
The way this branching story path thing works, at least from what they said, I think the story all goes the same way, but during the beginning of certain chapters, you can pick what character you want to play as, and whose story you want to follow.
Oh, and it'll be different depending on who you pick.
Yeah, like the story. Yeah, what story you follow will be different. They didn't say, but I assume it leads to the same ending, but you get different perspectives.
That's cool. That's
so
really cool, actually.
And I think they say you can do chapter select once you beat it, so you can just go back and pick a different character and see what they did.
That's awesome. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so that gives more replayability for the story mode.
Yeah, especially if the story is in, and you're wondering, like, what were they doing there?
Yeah.
They, like, jump in at the last minute or something. You're like, oh, where the heck did you come from?
Especially if, just for an example, you get to choose one chapter, like, between Batman, good guy, and Grodd, a villain. Like, seeing what each side's doing. Something like that.
Something in my eye. Sorry. Yeah. That's a simple thing that makes the story mode.
Yeah, and you get to play more characters in the story mode, so you don't feel like less characters are getting
the bad end of the stick. In a lot of fighting games, I feel like, they're being selective. Yeah, you only end up playing like a handful of people.
Yeah, like no more than half.
Yeah, and a lot of times it isn't even your favorite people. You just have to,
And just one other thing, they announced that, or said that they're probably going to announce a couple DLC characters before launch.
Okay.
So, yep, there's that. I'm interested to see how many and who they pick.
I'm wondering how many of that. Like, they've already gone so deep with the things. I'm wondering who's left. But
yeah, I am very interested to see, especially since counting Darkseid, they're going to be 10 DLC characters. So there are 9 more to announce.
Are they still split evenly with hero and villain like they were last time? I haven't even paid attention to that.
I think so. It's very close. Because you notice, I think there are a lot of new villains. They cut a lot of villains.
That's what I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone who's been announced has been a villain, but they also did cut.
Yeah. They announced a fair amount of heroes. A lot of deep cut heroes makes me happy. Like the heroes, would be some of my top picks. Unfortunately for the villains, most of the ones that stayed around are Batman. I'm trying to think of anyone that stayed around that's not a Batman villain.
And we added Batman villains on top of that.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I can't think of a single.
I love Batman.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a villain that's staying that's not a Batman villain. I can't think of any.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try to pull it up.
I guess there's like Black Adam.
Black Adam, maybe Adam, like the only one. Let's see. Yeah, it's looking like just Black Adam.
Wow.
That is the only non-Batman villain who's returning.
I guess if you think about it, I think about some of the villains. They had like Ares and Killer Frost and Sinestro. Like some of these were the obvious ones to be cut. Yeah, whatever.
Sinestro, that's like the premier Green Lantern
for villain. The Green Lantern. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm okay with Atrocitus and.
Yeah, it's something different, but yeah.
They have story reasons to get rid of Lex, which is a weird one to get rid of. But they're replacing with
that one's weird. They're
replacing with Brainiac, though.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
feel like there's another Superman villain.
I honestly think I had forgotten about.
They haven't showed anything about Brainiac except for like
maybe that's why.
Yeah,
but I do now that you said that. I think we've talked about it before. I just don't remember that at all.
And they had a Supergirl, which is cool.
Yeah,
the story stuff with Supergirl sounds cool. I'm more open for her, and I'm
getting more open to Supergirl. Still the show, no, but but at the same time with the Batman stuff, I'm so happy Scarecrow's in there. That's so cool.
Yeah,
like I love Batman villains, so I'm kind of happy. But it is.
I think people would have
Poison Ivy.
I would say I think people would have rioted if they didn't have Poison Ivy.
I think that's all.
I'm okay with Poison. I'm okay with the villains themselves. It's just the fact
I was a little surprised.
I wish they spread out more between the heroes, like who gets representation from the villain.
Yeah,
I understand it popularity wise, but it's just kind of
But Batman does have some awesome villains because I was kind of surprised Poison Ivy wasn't in the last one. And I love Poison Ivy from like old stuff.
I am happy they're making up with the lack of Flash villains from the last game.
Yeah,
Reverse Flash Skin, Grodd, and Captain Cold. Mm-hmm. I'm all for it.
And Swamp Thing is so cool. I mean, not that, but like that's cool.
Yeah. I think I said this last week. I think I like this roster more than the first one for sure.
I think it's hands down. This one's crazy, and I think doing the don't get me wrong. I've been excited the whole time, but I think doing the Injustice cast, Injust cast has made me get pumped up to the point now. I'm like, I really want to play it now. I'm really excited.
Luckily, I'm getting the physical edition on PS4, so I can at least let you borrow it at some point, so you can go through the story mode at least.
Just take it over here.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, I might bring my PS4, depending what stuff I have, so we can play with my unlocked stuff. But luckily, if it's like other games, so for maybe one character, everyone should be unlocked.
No.
So yeah.
Jeffrey, how are we looking on time? I really have not even.
We're over an hour 15, and there's some dead time in the beginning. So.
All right. We good.
Okay. We got a couple more stories, like 2 more stories, and then we got the topic of the show. So let's just get going.
Let's do it.
Okay. This next story is not really a story. It's an interview with Square Enix CEO Yosuke Matsuda. I think I put an R in there. It's Matsuda. I don't know why I said it the way. Yeah. I don't know why I said it the way I did originally.
You had Yosuke good.
Yeah. I was feeling good about this name.
Oh, wait, did you miss the last name?
I feel like I accidentally put an R sound in there.
No, but Nick.
Oh. Nikai is the name of the one who did the interview. On the site it was from.
Sorry.
Yeah. And what I'm reading is what people have translated because the interview's in Japanese. And this translation I got from NeoGAF user 0MCD73 and Mao2.
Thank you.
Got to give some credit.
Dankeschön.
Okay. And these are just a couple of points I found interesting that those people posted that could lead to conversations. It's kind of cool things.
Let's go on.
It's not really in any particular order. I'm just had the way they did. Okay, first point. He talked about extending the life of titles through updates and DLC, allowing them to continue selling for longer periods of time. Final Fantasy 15 in this case. Nothing that's surprising.
Like they're just kind of more they're starting to do,
yeah, doing more and more of that.
I think me and you are both cool with like kind of game as a platform thing almost, and just keep supporting
as long as it's not like obvious that they're ripping their fans off of the price and everything, and they're holding back content that's ready.
As long as it's still good stuff, it just keeps you coming back,
I'm all for it. The next thing, he notes that releasing titles in Japan, then waiting several months to release their titles overseas is not a good business strategy. Who would have guessed?
Thank you.
Especially for their story/adventure focused titles, and continues to note the importance of worldwide releases.
Yes. Yes.
Which I'm more okay with this because there are a fair amount of Square Enix titles I like. Especially with those kind of things. So hopefully this means... It just seems
like it's such an outdated thing to have it in Japan so long before. I mean, I know sometimes it's not done on purpose, but they should work to have a worldwide release.
So I'm hoping Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
Please, I want that game. I don't care for the Switch or PS4, I'm getting that game probably. I don't see myself not getting that game.
That seems like a game that usually would probably be like a year before we get it.
And again, I don't know, last we talked, you didn't really look at any of that stuff, I don't think. I don't know if you have since then, but you should.
About Dragon Quest?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
It from what I've seen, it screams your kind of game.
Okay.
It kind of goes back to like the older JRPGs.
I'm
really
sure
like.
I want to. I mean, that's another hole in my gaming. Like, I've
Yeah.
watched you, but I know I need to play some Dragon Quest.
Oh yeah, I got Dragon Quest 8 on the PS2. If it works, at some point you need to play that or the 3DS one. You just need to do it.
When I retire one day, Jeff, and I'm an old man in a nursing home, I'll get through all this.
Okay, next thing. Smartphone users aren't just looking for light games anymore, but more hardcore experiences. So yeah, so like more full games.
Yeah, so we're bringing the normies into the fold.
Yeah, or they'll start just making games, full games with smartphones. So to play their good full games, we need to do one on our phones.
So you could go one of two ways. We get the smartphone people onto us, or
and this is just an interesting thing. Stat he said. Japan/China/North America account for 80% of the smartphone market. So no need for worldwide releases for smartphone titles.
Wait, no need for...
It's just kind of like those three places account for 80% of the smartphone market. So he was saying no need for worldwide release as long as they can like get it there.
Okay.
That's the thing I found interesting.
Huh. Yeah. 80% is a lot.
Yeah. Then he says he has an interest in the Middle East/India as a potentially large untapped market for the future.
I mean, I don't know enough about like gaming in those regions, obviously, but
part of just my business major kind of my interest for this stuff.
That's definitely, it's one of those like that, and even like South America and stuff. Yeah. There's definitely regions that, like, I know South America, the PS2 still, like in Brazil and stuff. The PS2
they still make FIFA for that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
I hope you're okay. I might bring more and more business stuff here because it's increasingly interesting to me.
Go for it.
I'm sure it is for you too.
That's one of the reasons why, like, if I just liked games and I just like playing games, that's why I would just play games, and I wouldn't be in a podcast right now. Part of why I'm in a podcast right now is I love the business side of it and talking about sales, predicting what these companies are going to do. I love that stuff. So no, that's fine with me.
Then he says more announcements to come for Final Fantasy's 30th anniversary. So whatever that means.
I mean, that is this year, right? It's
like, should be.
Is there a certain time? Like when is the actual anniversary? Right? Like, I guess that is just any time this year could be a celebration of the anniversary.
Yeah, I mean, that's normally the way they go with this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is the year. Let's celebrate all year long. Yeah. Because they can. This is a weird sentence, but I take it as this is stuff that's releasing this year. He noted that 2017 has Nintendo Switch, Xbox Scorpio, Windows 10 Game Mode, and Google's Tango. So I'm guessing that, I don't know much about the Windows 10 or Tango thing, but I'm guessing that just means
noting there's a lot of things that
are releasing they put games on. And he said, out of all of these, Square Enix is focusing most on the Switch.
Yeah. And you can kind of see that. I mean, like, Square Enix has recently kind of been building a love affair with Nintendo, it seems like.
Yeah.
Ever since,
I don't think it's necessarily been building. It's kind of always been there.
It has. They're just one of the few, like, Square Enix has risen up everywhere else to the point where they're, like, kind of one of the big developers now. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of the only one, not the only one, but they're one of the ones that is the most closely tied to Nintendo, so it kind of stands out now.
Which I am okay with.
Square Enix has become, like one of my favorite developers, and not just for, like, the... what they used to be for like turn-based stuff and all that. They have Tomb Raider.
And
have, like,
again, I mentioned a game I want to play. I want to play Hitman.
I do too. Yeah, I really want to
play that game.
That's what I love. They have their American teams and Japanese teams, and they're both great.
Oh yeah, they're both killing it.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then Matsuda also said that having more platforms is good for content creators. Therefore, he would like the Switch to be successful. He also wants more titles in development and existing ones to be ported to Switch if they're possible/feasible. I like this attitude.
Yeah, I hope more people do.
Like, I want Square Enix stuff to get ported to the Switch because, again, it's the whole thing of if stuff's on, my PS4 and Switch and how they run is not that different, I'll get on the Switch.
And this is what it takes companies like Square Enix kind of taking the gamble on it to draw in other people.
Yeah, I understand them not being quick, partly because of the development time. Porting like Final Fantasy 15 to that. Because if we're being honest, that's probably not going to run that great.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't even be possible. And maybe, I don't know, but it'd be hard.
Yeah. at least comparatively, it probably won't run that great.
Yeah.
But again, like Dragon Quest 11. From what I've seen, I guess there isn't much, but it looks like it's gonna be turn-based, so or the regular type thing. So why not?
Oh, it wasn't it announced with like the NX like that?
It is.
Like, it's on it. Like, it was.
Well, I guess what I kind of meant with that was why not me get it for that, because I shouldn't have to worry too much about how it runs. I assume, and the art, I think it's one of those cases the art style will help it. And yeah, that's all there is to that. I just thought that was an interesting thing, a bunch of little fun facts.
100%.
Okay, last story. It's a pretty small one, but I thought it was worth mentioning. This is about the Switch manufacturing cost, and this one comes from Takashi Mochizuki from the Wall Street Journal. He said Japan's teardown firm Falmouth expects that Nintendo Switch's cost at $257, and I guess the same thing. Falmouth also predicted that the Switch may sell 30 million units by 2018's end.
So, might put a nail in the hole dropping the 250 thing.
At least.
I mean, I don't know enough about this stuff. But that's what that tells me. Am I right?
If this is true, yeah, it's pretty much like people are complaining about the price being too high. It's like Nintendo wants to make any money. They can't. They couldn't have put it any lower.
Yeah, and they can't drop it really from here.
Yeah,
if
at least
not much. Yeah.
At least not right now when they're selling.
Yeah.
So like people's predictions of it going down, like some people were talking about it going down during the winter.
That's what I thought too, but
I thought that'd be the case if it was just selling awfully, like
so
3DS level.
So unless they're in like desperation level, probably not.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I was fine with the 300, and I'll still be fine with the 300. I don't think that's a problem. So, so I mean, that's fine. I do think the 30 million. While I would love it to be true, that's pretty. I don't know. I mean, like that seems like that's a high goal. With 30 million. What Xbox? That's
about 2 years.
Xbox is like 20 or 25 or 30 million or something like that since 2013. That's. I mean, the Switch is probably wanting to be more successful than the Xbox One, but it's not like the Xbox One is sold bad. It's just in comparison to PS4. So, 30 million, I don't know. I hope that'd be great. True. That would be awesome.
30 million in 2 years.
That's a lot, though. 30 million. Is a lot. That's a lot.
Yep, that was just added to it. So, main thing I wanted to put this was the manufacturing cost. But yeah, that's interesting. If that estimate is right or about that ballpark, it's like, Nintendo isn't making a big amount of this stuff, or this thing is more expensive to make than people thought. So people's thinking, this thing should have been $200. No way.
Nope. We're actually probably lucky that we got it for 300. If that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all news we got. So, I guess this is also news, but
news related.
News related. So, Atlas. While Persona 5
Sega.
Atlas/Sega, while Persona 5's been doing awesome and all the publicity is great around it, there has been a little bit of controversy, and it's something we've seen before from Nintendo. It's a kind of a Japanese thing. But Persona 5 streaming, streaming Persona 5, there's been controversy, and I'm about to read a post from Atlas.com about this. We're going to skip the beginning part, but it says... Okay, now let's talk about Persona 5 streaming and videos. Simply put, we don't want the experience to be spoiled for people who haven't played the game. Our fans waited years for the game to come out, and we really wanted to make sure that they can have an experience, that they can experience it fully as a totally new adventure. Please read our video streaming guidelines below, and I'll read those. It says, please, in all caps, do not post any specific plot points or story spoilers, and only talk about the game in broad strokes. You're more than welcome to Talk/Show. Confidence, the new combat, the Velvet Room, the dungeons, etc. Just please keep in mind that as a singular story playthrough, viewers are highly wary of spoilers. In-game content limit. Please limit video content through the in-game date of 7/7. So like the game. There's date you go through like actual.
I'll just kind of say this. As for that, they're you pretty much, if it's like the past ones, where I understand, you play for a whole year, a whole school year, and Japan it starts in April.
Yeah.
So that's like only a quarter of the game.
It's a very small.
Less than a quarter of the game that apparently you're allowed to show.
You're allowed to stream from, and they have
video content.
Video content guidelines. It says you can post however many additional videos you'd like, but please limit each to be at most 90 minutes long. No major story spoilers, and I'll leave that up to your good judgment, which is kind of random. But I know I mentioned not showing the end of each palace, but you can grab footage from the Kamoshida boss fight. However, don't capture video from the other major boss fights.
I assume that's the first major
so it's
boss
probably
fight.
You can show the first boss fight, but nothing else. It says must focus solely on cutscenes / animated scenes. Should prominently feature dungeon crawling / spending time in Tokyo, and you can post straight gameplay or have commentary. It says this being a Japanese title with a single playthrough story means our masters in Japan are very wary about it. Sharing is currently blocked through the native PS4 UI. However, if you do plan on streaming, video guidelines above apply except link. If you this is hard, Jeff. Your job's hard. If you decide to stream past 7/7 the date, and there it says in all caps, I highly recommend not doing this. You have been warned.
Serious business right here.
And the thing, you do so at the risk of being issued a content ID claim or worse, a channel strike / account suspension. So basically, this is just like I think Nintendo's gotten in trouble with had similar things with their games in the past. I'm not really sure if they still do that now. But when they're
if you're thinking about the whole they're kind of flagging things to get the money from it,
Okay. Yeah. So it's
I feel bad for Game Explain because that's all they do.
Like a lot of things from Japan. It kind of seems to me, just looking at it. It kind of seems like Japan, like these are Japan-focused companies that are doing this the most. This is Sega and Atlas. That was Nintendo. I don't think they quite understand how the market is in America and how like streaming and Let's Plays and stuff work in America. Because I get it from like your business end, and if you don't intimately know how it's going on in America, you just think these are people using our game, and these people are like they're putting out spoilers there. We gotta stop this. It's our, we need to stop it. What they don't understand is in America, a lot of people will be like, I'm interested in Persona 5. Let me go look at this Let's Play. Oh, that looks good. I'm gonna buy it. That's how it goes. This is almost free marketing to you. And like that, the PS4 has a share button. You're literally encouraged in most games to share things. And honestly, and I'm just going to like kind of give my opinion and you can go, but I don't think anyone you see someone playing Persona or something, even if you saw a story thing, you'd be like, oh, well now the game's ruined. I'm never going to play Persona now. Yeah. I don't think you do that. Also, are you going to you're not really going to, unless you jump to part 20 of a Let's Play series or whatever, you're not going to see in-game spoiler things.
Persona is more like part 60.
You're right. Yeah, this game's so long. It's so freaking long. So, I think this is kind of, I don't think they get it, and I understand that, but they're gonna. I hope they learn from this because I hope they realize people are mad about this. People are, and it's a bummer. It really is a bummer that you can't even share. You can't even take a screenshot. Right?
The share button is. From my understanding,
like if you're playing Persona and you want to take a screenshot to put as your background or something in the PS4, you can't do that. Yep, and that's annoying. I think unless you're talking, I'm gonna go turn the light on because it's pitch black dark.
I think it's important to note this is like the last sentence on there. They said that being said, Persona 5 is a super special case for us, and we're in ongoing discussion about how our policies may evolve in the future. Thanks for reading and good luck in the metaverse.
So they're open. They're open to changes.
And kind of like you said, I think this is mainly the Japan part of all this because of Sega / Alice. There's another story where Puyo Tetris, you can't stream it in Japan, but you can do it here.
Yeah, which is weird. This comes from Hope Corrigan from IGN. Sega Japan has placed restrictions on users who wish to stream the puzzle game Puyo Tetris. The game's official Japanese website lists restrictions for users who wish to stream Puyo Tetris, essentially stating that players can't stream on platforms that are monetized or stream parts of the adventure mode due to spoilers. IGN reached out to Sega to confirm which regions these restrictions to Puyo Tetris will apply, and the company confirmed the streaming limitations apply only to Japan. And Sega said, "We highly encourage our American and European fans to stream the game when it comes out. There are no PS4 share button restrictions. We want them to share their experiences with the world, but we do ask them to please be conscious of revealing adventure mode story cutscenes." It says Puyo Tetris has been out in Japan since 2014 and will release on April 25th in North America and April 28th in Europe for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
So so Japan can't share things at all, but America and Europe are encouraged to.
Yeah. This is a weird thing. It kind of is connected because, again, they're both connected to Sega, but for the case of Persona 5, there's also the Atlas part to think about, and I'm not sure how their stuff is structured. Like, I think I saw, and I'm not 100% sure this, like the U.S. Sega and U.S. Atlas are more of one entity than, and Japan, they're a little more separate. I'm not sure about that, so do not take that as fact, but I think it's a case one way or the other. But yeah, it's just an interesting thing to see.
Well, what's your take on it? Because I kind of went on my rant about it, but like, what's your take on these companies and like what they should be doing with it? Do you think? I mean, like, I think they do have a right to do it. Obviously, I mean, I think so. But I mean, do you agree with me that it kind of seems like it's a bad idea for America?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I guess they technically have the right to. That doesn't mean they necessarily should, because like you said, it's free publicity, and like Nintendo's thing, the way they do this internet stuff is stupid and greedy as hell.
Like you said, Game Explain. There's people just talking about Nintendo.
No, it's the fact that I don't know how exactly it all works. I just hear from bits and pieces. I don't hear about Game Explain ever complain about it. It's more of me hearing like Easy Allies and Team 4-Star mainly, who have, I would say, a little more trouble making money from that stuff than kind of funny and stuff. So yeah, them complaining about it because it seems like whenever they do anything Nintendo related, they can't monetize it. For example, Easy Allies mentioned this like a week ago. Their reaction to the Nintendo January conference, they can't monetize that like the other stuff because it holds Nintendo footage. So yeah, Game Explain. I mean, their case that they have to have full-time jobs because they have a Patreon, but it's not that big, especially compared to the other stuff I just named. So yeah, Nintendo stuff is stupid. For this Persona stuff, it's more of, why are you giving these stupid like guidelines for this?
Very specific things.
Yeah, it's like as far as like the thing, don't go through July 7th on there. It's I mean, if people want to look at that, they can. I mean, this stuff's been out. As far as spoilers, they can look for spoilers the last like 8 months.
It's been out for almost a year.
I mean, and some of it's obviously been like spoilers. Major spoilers have been translated and stuff. People want to look at that, they can. I mean, we're not stupid. We're not going to
make your like just the typical player just playing the game and wanting to share your things or whatever. They have to abide by these like very specific guidelines that they probably don't know about. Yeah, they're just wondering why I can't share this. Like, I could share it earlier. Why can't I share it now? And especially when you're the only company, or like Sega and Nintendo, it's very few. Most big companies now are all for it. They're like, yeah, go do your Let's Play or whatever. It's good for us, and this would be great for Nintendo, great for Sega. And Persona 5 has so much goodwill. It just seemed like this is an unforced error. Yeah, and this was probably a decision made in Japan that they just don't. It doesn't seem like in Japan it's not as big of a deal, but here that's more of a backlash thing.
Yeah, it seems definitely more Japan side. Again, I don't know how the relationship exactly works because the Puyo Tetris thing, it seems, and the way the just some comments from the Persona letter thing, it sounds more like, yeah, we have to do this because of our overlords in Japan.
Yeah, the masters in Japan.
Yeah, it's pretty much Japan's side. Like if it was up to US Sega / Atlas, they'd be like, or the European Atlas / Sega, they'd be like, okay, whatever, do what you want.
Yeah.
Because I think that, again, like you said, that's more of a thing here. I think, like, I don't know. I feel like there's definitely less of that in Japan, like the streaming and stuff.
I think there has to be because of how much this comes from Japan. I mean, obviously, I don't pretend to know.
I think the Europe / US or North America branches of these companies see like, okay, this stuff's big. It's, this gains us sales. It doesn't lose anything. People who are watching full playthroughs, that may be some of what they're worried about, and they don't play the game. Those people, they're not gonna pick up the game just because they can't watch someone do it. They're the only way they're gonna really probably experience it is by watching someone while they're like doing something else.
Yeah.
So you take that away, they're not going to just go pick up the long game and play it.
No, I mean, yeah, if they're gonna buy Persona, I think they're gonna buy Persona whether you do that or not. I think the only thing it really mostly only helps you because it gets people. If I want to know about Persona, I could go out and watch things or whatever and be like, this looks fun. This looks like everything I want to do.
Yeah. Again, I mean, they give you some guidelines to the whole thing of they give you stuff like people can promote it for you because you can do gameplay.
Yeah.
And see, this is the whole fun thing, but yeah, this hurts the whole Let's Players who do like whole games.
Yeah.
Like,
and it hurts like smaller Let's Players who don't have like capture equipment and stuff that do use the PS4 thing, which is cool, but it's just you're blocked out of it.
Honestly, what I just find funny about this whole thing overall, the funniest thing, is they're worried about cutscenes and Puyo Tetris adventure mode.
You're worried about story spoilers in a game that's literally it's Tetris. You're worried about story spoilers in Tetris.
I'm gonna play it.
Or are you like avoiding the internet, Jeff, because you're worried about getting spoiled for the gripping tale of Puyo Tetris?
Yeah, I gotta see why the Puyo Players and the Tetris blocks hate each other.
You're not gonna be able to handle the English voices anyway. It's gonna make you too mad.
You're right. Sega, please give us Japanese voice acting.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like this has been a pretty constant thing. Eventually, they're gonna get it. This has to be annoying to the like U.S. arms of Nintendo and Sega when this things happen because like we know. I don't think anyone in America like pretends that like, for better or worse or whatever, that the Let's Play community has happened. Like, that stuff's out there. And if you are doing this type of thing, you're the one that stands out, and it looks bad. It looks very bad on our end.
Hey, let's look at other Japanese games. Neo and, like, Nier Automata. I can promise you, Let's Players have only helped the sales for those two games.
100%.
Like, I'm going to mainly go to, when I reference Let's Player, Team 4-Star Gaming, because those are, I guess, the only Let's Players, like, just Let's Playing I paid attention to. They both doing Nier and Neo. Well, for Neo, they're doing a drunk stream thing. Every time they die, they take a drink.
Nice.
But yeah, I can promise you that people are buying the games because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw stuff for Nier Automata in the comments, like, they only did to, like, one ending, I think. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to see spoilers for it. But I saw some people saying, okay, this was a lot of fun. I'm going to do it so I can play myself and do the other endings.
Yeah.
Bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah. And a lot of times, like, yeah, you'll watch something for a while and be like, I want to play this, and then you'll go play it. You won't watch to the end with the spoilers until you're done with it.
I'm okay. I'm definitely okay with these companies, like, saying, please avoid posting very spoilery stuff, or just saying it's spoilery stuff for these games, like Persona 5 story and even the adventure thing for Puyo Tetris. The thing in general, I find it funny about blocking streams for Puyo Tetris in general. Like, who cares if people can watch each other play Tetris?
And that's why this kind of seems like it's just like a blanket statement. They're like, oh, don't use our content. Don't use any of our content. Yeah. And they're not actually thinking about why are we doing this? Why can't they use the content? They're just like, don't use it. That's wrong or whatever. And I mean, I guess in some ways it is. I mean, like they're using someone else's content, they're doing that, and they're making money off it or whatever. But you're not going to stop it. Even Persona 5, you can do all of this. People are still going to post things. You can take them down and everything, but it's going to happen still. The only thing that's different is you look like the bad guy when you're out here running around shouting at people to stop, pretty much.
I always find it interesting, like, do these people literally look at every stream so they make sure, like, Persona doesn't go past July 7th? It's like, is this guy past July 7th?
You're July 8th, take him down.
July 6th? You're good, son. You're good for now. But if you go one more day...
Oh, no.
Bring the band hammer.
It's just dumb. Well, anyone listening, let us know what you think. This is kind of a contentious issue, but...
And let us know how excited you are for a Puyo Tetris Adventure Mode.
Yeah, we'll try not to spoil it for you. Yeah.
I'm going to spoil everything.
That's our vow here. We will spoil Puyo Tetris to no end.
By that, I mean, I'm going to tell you how bad it is. Like, how bad the story probably is.
I'm sure it's nothing that deserves this much fuss about it. It's a puzzle game. It's like a mobile phone puzzle game, pretty much. Nothing bad about it, but you're not playing Puyo Tetris for the story. Nope.
I am very interested to see how that goes, though. Like how all those characters we played as will interact. Like, what role does that fish thing Tyler played as?
Yeah, are they even going to be, like, are these characters that are, like, actually talking? Is there
I saw some from a trailer and some pictures and stuff. They were talking.
It's actually an open world RPG. Like, when you actually get the full game, the demo is just that, but you actually play as the people.
When you set up Tetris Box the right way, you unlock another Kingdom Hearts 3. Believe.
But you better not stream it, Jeff. You better not stream when you get there to the Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, no. I'm not going to do anything so they can take that away from me. I won't even tell you.
Joe, just hide away in this room.
Watching me play my Switch like, Jeff, what are you doing?
Nothing. Puyo Tetris, leave me alone.
Okay.
All right, I think that's our show.
Yep.
That was an interesting one.
Yep.
I like that one.
Yeah.
We had a good off-topic conversation in the middle.
Yep.
We talked about random, unrelated things at the beginning. I completely messed up speaking, and I have a newfound respect for you.
Woohoo! Respect.
Yeah, so,
not even my mother respects me.
That's why Jeff reads, and I just sit here and look pretty.
Yep. Not that matters.
It might matter soon.
Oh yeah.
We're scheming. We're working on a camera. If you think that you would like a camera portion, like video of us talking, if that would look more interesting than our random pictures we have in this stream, let us know, because that's something we are working towards.
Yep.
Probably no time soon, but we're working towards it.
Yep. Money.
Working towards a lot of things, and let us know what you think we should be working towards. Because we have limited budget, so whatever we do needs to be important.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I believe that's it. Should I start plugging my stuff? You can find me on the Daily Gamecock, or write for the Daily Gamecock.
You can find me on Planet Earth.
You can find Jeff on Planet Earth sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm also Darby Hallman 1 on Twitter. I don't do much.
I don't have a Twitter.
He's on Planet Earth, though.
Yeah. I'm on Life.
This is going on too long. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.